So today we're playing the Reaper, and we may be committing buff burglary today, with Mr. Struggles and his 2 Hearts of Darkness. Why? So BLOODTHORNE can smash opponents like this, which is going to turbo stack our BLOODTHORNE even faster. However, we are going to begin Spike Staff and Mana Thirst. Deal with Guardian, they're going to have a lot of damage mitigation. They're basically going to be immortal during that battle rage. However, we are going pretty strong. But hey, check this run out and let me know what you think of this build. Okie dokie, so today we're running Sack Surprises, so let's go ahead and jump into some ranked games with the Reaper and seeing what we can do. Okay, we got Amulet of the Wilds. And we got a Stone. Kind of a crazy round one. That's for sure. So we do need to survive until we get our Amulet of the Wilds online, so let's go ahead, grab some healing herbs, grab the frying pan, and grab a Walrus Tusk. And honestly, I'm going to grab the shiny shell too. Just because this gives a tiny bit of a heal. So we got healing with the healing herbs, we got healing with the shiny shell. DPS with the frying pan is not going to be crazy DPS because we have no food items. But we'll run with this for now. Now, we do get spikes from the Amulet of the Wilds. After 5 seconds though, we do get a lot of spikes. Up to 5 spikes, which is crazy damage. That means every time they hit with their 3 weapons, they're going to be taking 5 damage. Is it going to be enough to win though? Honestly, just barely. Holy moly. To start this round off, I will be taking this broom. And at this point, I'm going to grab this big old banana. And I would love to grab a Spike Shield. Spike Shield has recently got buffed. It now generates up 4 spikes instead of 3, so definitely going to be worthwhile grabbing. I will grab it and going to sell a stone to roll. And we do need this ladder bag pretty darn bad. Are we going to sell a healing herbs for her? Unfortunately, I don't think we can. I will reserve the wooden sword and the lump cone craft up torch next round, but unfortunately, we're going to have to run with this. It is what it is. And we did change the setup around just a little bit, so our banana is in beside our frying pan, so it gets that little bit of extra DPS. With the banana and double weapons, we should be able to sustain our stamina. However, our opponent has already inflicted 3 blind because they do have 2 pocket sands. And they do have that shell to them, which is going to give them a lot of healing. However, we do have that spikes, but is it actually going to be enough? That fatigue set in. And honestly, it's not going to be enough. Hold on a sec. No, definitely not. Just pausing the video here very quickly, just to ask you to subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks. Now let's get back to the video. It is what it is. We should be in a much better standing once we get our shovel online. Grabbing our sword, grabbing this leather bag, and grabbing this torch. However, we do need to craft up a spike shield. So I'm going to grab a stone, and I'm going to reroll once. At this point, I'm actually going to reserve another Walrus Tusk, and I'm going to continue on. I want to get as much spikes as possible. As early on as well. So we're going to rock with this for now. We have double weapons. Shovel, we should be inflicting some blinds. We do have some damage mitigation. We have a little bit of healing. And then we should have a crazy amount of damage with the spikes. But we did take out our healing herbs. We do not have the healing. And unfortunately, it's going to fall short once again. Super unfortunate. It is what it is. I'm going to grab the leather bag. I'm going to grab another Walrus Tusk. I'm actually going to sell all these items to grab this health pot. And we could craft up a strong health pot, or we could craft up a magic torch. We're actually going to craft up a strong health pot. It's going to be too good not to take it right now, especially because we want it to live as long as possible to stack up that spikes. That's going to benefit us the most right now. We'll see. We have 8 spikes, which is kind of crazy, and smashing. Okay, that's another broom. We could honestly take just be inflicting a lot of blind. It is on sale. I don't think we actually want to grab it. I do want to roll. There's some blueberries, and we can go for that magic torch if we do want to. Or we could go for double spiked shield. Let's grab the shield for now. Let's keep rolling. Okay, we'll definitely take this. And we're going to sell a stone, and we're going to take another Walrus Tusk. Let's roll once more. That's a Hunger Blade. I'm definitely going to grab. I do want to grab this Undead Amulet. I do want to grab this healing herbs too. And we are going to move on. Now we could sell our shovel and our torch. But I think I'd just rather get rid of the shovel, take the Hunger Blade, keep the torch potentially. Or we could get rid of the torch and keep the shovel. However, we'll just have to see. Our opponent is stacking up that damage with that axe. They do have the healing, or they do have the shell totem for the healing. They do have damage mitigation with the dragon scanner, so this could be kind of tough. We'll just have to see. We stacked up 10 spikes. Is it actually going to be enough? Smashing. Awesome first. And holy BLOODTHORNE up, that's going to be crazy. So with that, we're going to be selling both our weapons. We're 100% going to be taking Hunger Blade. And we're going to guarantee crafting up this BLOODTHORNE. However, I'm going to lose the Walrus Tusk for this round. I'll actually take a set of healing herbs. Let's add it in a singular pocket sand. Next round, we're going to be getting our unidentified amulet. And we're going to be moving on. We're going all in on spikes. However, this opponent is going to have a ton of healing. They're going to have some stacking damage with these double torches. It is going to be slow, but still going to be that stacking damage. But just look how much spikes we have already. Stamina, huge issue. But that spikes was crazy. Okay, now we got BLOODTHORNE, which is going to be honestly fantastic. So let's go ahead and grab the unidentified amulet. What's going to be the amulet of life, which is fantastic. With the BLOODTHORNE, I do want to grab this health pot. Now, should we actually craft up a strong health pot? If we do kind of lose the healing or the regen from the very beginning. So I'm not going to. I'm actually going to reserve this fanny pack and I'm going to move on. Just increase the speed of our BLOODTHORNE, even just a little bit. However, with this health pot now, we should get even more from our amulet life. And we should also get that regen as well. So we should be able to go turbo nuts. Also without spikes, our BLOODTHORNE is going to be dealing crazy damage. And awesome. Now we get to choose your subclass. And honestly, at this point in time, I do kind of want to turbo stack as much spikes, especially with the amulet oils. So I'm going to go Mr. Struggles in hopes of finding Mrs. Fortune. Unfortunately, however, we did get Mrs. Struggles, which is pretty darn good too. And at this point, I do want to get this bloody amulet, but for now, we are going to be taking this fanny bag. Unfortunately, we're going to be taking out a Walrus Tusk, but we're going to move on. And we did have Mr. Struggles targeting a BLOODTHORNE and Mrs. Struggles to be removing opponent's buffs. Because if we do remove heat, they actually cannot resurrect with Phoenix. Which is going to be kind of crazy, but they are going to get that resurrection. It is going to be small, but they do get it. With that BLOODTHORNE dealing crazy damage. Also, I do want to grab this flute because that flute is going to be stacking luck for us. However, we're going to be taking the BLOODTHORNE, the bloody amulet. We're going to be reserving the flute, and we might as well just roll on for now. 7 or 5 gold might not be the best idea, but it should be pretty decent. We are going to begin Nocturnal Locklifter. They're going to have a ton of healing. They've stacked up quite a few buffs. They did steal some VAR buffs, which is pretty darn bad. We should be able to stack up enough buffs to keep ahead. Fantastic. And we do also want to get the Toad because the Toad is also luck generation. We could also go for the Impacted Large Greatsword. Let's start off with the Phil. Let's grab the Toad. Let's roll. And actually, we got an awesome shop right now. Being a hard container, we can craft up a Heart of Darkness if we do want to. We can also craft up a Dark Saber, but honestly, the BLOODTHORNE is going to be our best bet for now. Now, do we actually want to go Heart of Darkness to be stealing buffs? We can remove them with Mrs. Struggles, and then we can also steal them. So I might actually grab this. Cannot fit in a flute for this round. We're going to move on. Now, we did move a Toad in for this position, which is targeting specifically our BLOODTHORNE. So if our BLOODTHORNE gains 10 buffs, we do get a little bit of a heal. However, can we beat down this Berserker? They're doing a lot of damage. But holy moly, that's a lot of spikes. Awesome even. And there's Miss Fortune, which is honestly going to be awesome. However, we do need to make this work, so we're going to be taking Miss Fortune. We're going to be slotting Miss Fortune in for now. And I will be taking this Corrupted Crystal as well. Now, I'm still opting to have Mrs. Struggles in being targeted from Mr. Struggles instead of Miss Fortune because we do not stack up as much luck as I'd like to. We still want our hard container, and we're going to roll on for now with this setup. So we should be able to turbo stack our spikes. Potentially, actually, we do not start off with spikes, so we could end up turbo stacking Vampirism, which honestly I'm not. Actually, that's going to be pretty darn good for us too. However, that opponent's dealing crazy damage. Yeah, our opponent's DPS was basically double our DPS because they had that scaling damage, and with that scaling damage, it was basically doubled since they had the piercing arrow. So unfortunately, our build just could not keep up with the damage that was providing. Let's grab a hard container. Let's roll. That's a Glowing Crown on sale for 6. Which we could take. However, our bag opportunity was literally a protected purse, which is pretty darn bad. Unfortunately, we might actually want to get rid of one of our spiked shields for now. I'm going to sell our pocket sand. I do want to roll. And that is another corrupted crystal we could take and reduce our opponent's healing. That seems pretty darn good. However, we are going to roll on like this for now. Now we do have scaling vampirism, which is going to be fantastic. We'll see how it goes though. Our opponent is going to be stacking up a lot of poison on us. They are going to resurrect. And we're going to start turbo stacking our buffs. And honestly, not looking too bad for us. Awesome. One more victory and we finish the 10, and that's a hard container on sale. We are going to grab for sure. A lot of fantastic items, not a whole lot of space. So I did want to grab this, but holy moly, another Heart of Darkness is going to be crazy not to take. 1 gold, let's roll. That's another Mrs. Struggles. I actually don't think we want it because with 2 heart containers, we're going to be stealing those buffs. It might actually be worth grabbing. But I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to sell our water disc, grab this tiny little storage and roll again. We grabbed up a second BLOODTHORNE, but honestly, it's not going to be that great for us. Now, however, I will grab Vampiric Gloves. That is going to be crazy good. And we're also going to switch Misfortune into this position, so our Heart of Darkness should be going faster. Now, the only problem is we do not have our spike shields in, which is not what I want, but we're going to move on for now. Until we get a little bit more storage, we can fit these in. Our opponent does have the time dilator, which is going to slow down our attack speed, which is not going to be that great for us. However, we did proc our Heart of Darkness, which is crazy. And yeah, massive damage. Right now our DPS is 33 DPS, which is not too bad for this point of the game. Definitely could be better. Let's check our heals. Honestly, your heals is not that great. However, our damage is about to increase significantly by taking this pair of gloves and crafting up Vampiric Gloves, which is going to increase our healing as well. But I do believe we can actually make this even crazier. So let's go ahead and continue on for now. We got ourselves another Heart of Darkness. Let's go ahead and grab this potion belt for now. Let's grab the pair of gloves. Let's roll. That's a prismatic orb we definitely want. And we may want this wall protector if we plan on increasing the speed of our BLOODTHORNE. The funny thing is, we can literally sell our spike shield. 2. That's 8 gold, which does mean we can get a prismatic orb this round, or we can grab a wall protector. We're going to grab the prismatic orb at some point. However, we do have a lot of dark items, so we'll be inflicting a lot of debuffs. And it's also going to give us that vampirism. I would love to add in our spike shields because honestly that's just going to be a lot of spikes stacked up pretty darn quick. With Armor of the Wilds. Well, let's grab it. We do need to prioritize getting as much vampirism as possible. So we're going to sell our spike shields, which is kind of feels rough. Or feels bad, not rough. And we do kind of want to situate. So we got a prismatic orb. Now we do kind of want to slot it in at this position. However, we can move it in here for now. And that should be pretty darn good value. Now crafting up 2 Heart of Darknesses with Misfortune is basically saying whatever buffs our opponent does have, we can end up turbo stacking it. So we might have actually wanted to keep these as normal heart containers, but this is going to be crazy good to be removing our opponent's buffs. And it does prioritize regen, but it's still going to be quite risky. Well, let's go ahead and move on. Our opponent is going to be removing our buffs as well with Mr. Struggles, except they're not going to be relying on his buff as much. However, they do stack up damage with the Fancy Rapier. We'll just have to see though. Can we bring it back? It's looking pretty good. And smashing. Yeah, our build just outpaced their build. I said their build doesn't really rely on buffs, but it actually does rely heavily on that scaling damage for the Fancy Rapier, while our BLOODTHORNE deals crazy damage. But awesome, let's go ahead and continue on. Now, do we actually want to grab Wall Protector? It would help a little bit with our stamina. Is it going to be actually worth really grabbing though? Honestly, at this point, I think I'm going to grab it. We'll slot it in for now. And that's all we can really do for this round. And let's go ahead and continue. Now we could also have it beside our toll, but I'm going to still opt to have it here. Just for now. However, our opponent is going to be turbo stacking spikes, which we are going to be stealing their spikes. Which means we are going to be dealing that damage back to him. And smashing. Honestly, facing his opponent's extremely lucky. And yeah, facing his opponent is extremely lucky. And we still had enough time to turbo stack our Vampirism, which is fantastic. But let's go and continue. 3 more rounds to go. Can we actually make it? That's another pair of gloves, another Vampiric Gloves, and we could take another Identified Amulet to try get another Amulet of Wilds or the Amulet of Life. Let's grab the Vampiric Bloody Amulet for now. At this point, I'm going to grab the Unidentified Amulet. I'm going to reserve the gloves, but let's grab the Amulet. Amulet of Life is crazy good. Might actually lose 1 health pot in favor of actually taking it. Or we could lose 1 healing herbs, but I'd much prefer keeping this setup for now. And honestly, taking another Bloody Amulet is going to allow us to turbo stack our Vampirism even more. So our Heart of Darkness is less RNG with our Misfortune. Let's go ahead and move on for now. Grab a pair of gloves, craft up into another Vampiric Gloves, which is going to turbo stack our BLOODTHORNE even faster. However, we are going to begin Spike Staff, Mana Thirst, deal with Guardian. They're going to have a lot of damage mitigation. They're basically going to be immortal during that battle rage. However, we are going pretty strong and smashing. 43 Vampirism, 25 Spikes. Honestly, this build is just pretty darn consistent. To be removing opponents' buffs and to be stealing their buffs also. It's just crazy. It means that Spike Staff, stacking up in power, we do take their power. We do take their spikes. It's just awesome. And we still managed to turbo stack Vampirism, which is crazy good because Vampirism does keep us alive. We're hitting for 43, and with the 2 Amulets of Life, we're actually healing for a little bit more. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Craft up our Vampiric Gloves. We could take more healing herbs, but don't exactly want to. We'll definitely grab the storage for now. Switching this down for now. Now we do also want to craft this up pretty badly. I'm also going to switch this in here, which does mean we can slightly move this over, which is definitely going to be worthwhile. However, it does mean we're going to lose 1 Vampirism Brock, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We can add back in our potions. Let's go and continue to roll. Now we could get a pineapple for some stacking spikes on top of everything. Should we actually grab it? We won't be able to fit it in this round anyway, so is there a point of actually taking it? We could slot it in this position next round once we find a bit of storage. We won't be able to fit it in for now. And we did opt to have a Whooping down here, just so our Toad is targeting our Heart of Darkness, our BLOODTHORNE, and our Whooptinger. However, we could increase the speed of our Whooptinger, but I'd much prefer just our Toad to be targeting these 3 items, just to get a little bit more of a heal. And we could take the pineapple, or we could try to find more Vampirism. But let's grab the pineapple. We're not going to slot it in for now, we're going to move on. 7 gold just sitting in our inventory. Can we win out? We are going to begin Flame Up, Unsettling Presence, Dark Lantern with a bunch of Glowing Crowns. They're going to have an absurd amounts of invulnerability, which does mean we do not get that lifesteal, which is going to be problematic. However, that's big damage. Again, that lifesteal and vulnerability, we're going to be in a big trouble. And we might actually meet a counter here. And honestly, yeah, it's insane because if we're dealing 0 damage, we did meet a counter because with the invulnerability, if we deal 0 damage, we actually get 0 healing from Vampirism. Every time we hit for 0, we're not healing back up. And once the invulnerability dropped, we did heal for quite a bit. So unfortunately, beating the counter, being the invulnerability. And even though we met a counter, we actually almost brought it back, breaking through all the invulnerability phases. If they didn't actually have one of these Glowing Crowns, we actually would have won that fight. It is unfortunate, it is what it is. But anyway, we do have 1 more round to survive, which does mean we're going to get guaranteed points, and we should be a lot stronger with these Vampiric Gloves. Now let's go ahead and roll. That's another shiny ball, which we are definitely going to want to take. So we could sell our health bar, which I'm thinking about doing. Or we could sell our pineapple, but I do kind of want to keep the pineapple. I think that's going to be too good not to keep, so we're going to say goodbye to this for now. Where are we going to position this next Prismatic Orb? Because we can slot it down below. This is going to be pretty darn good. Or we can slot it in at this position or even at this position. The best position would be something like this. However, then we lose Mr. Struggles, and we do need Mr. Struggles to be targeting a BLOODTHORNE for sure. So we might actually just leave it like this for now. Because at least then we get a ton of dark items, which should be fantastic. Now, I might actually want to take this flute out for now, because I actually do not want it to be targeting this Prismatic Orb, because I do not want to be stacking up mana whatsoever. Which does mean you can have our banana down here and our pineapple in this position, which does mean we can have our flutes in here as well, which is looking pretty good. Which does mean we can actually have our health pot in a potion belt to get that buff, which is going to be fantastic. Now we do have 1 more gold. Let's roll, and that's all we can do. But anyways, this build was a ton of fun. It did pretty darn well, rocking BLOODTHORNE. BLOODTHORNE, Mr. Struggles is always a crazy fun build, and especially crafting 2 Heart of Darkness was kind of crazy, especially with Misfortune, because it's kind of like Heart of Darkness take the wheel. But with Prismatic Orbs, with Vampiric Gloves, we should be able to turbo stack our Vampirism pretty easily. But anyways, let's go and see, is this going to be good enough, or is it going to fall short right at the end? Can we beat Fancy Fencing Rapier Snake. They're going to have a crazy amount of health. They have a crazy amount of armor. They're going to scale up the damage with Fancy Fencing Rapier unless we eat up all their luck. But they're doing so much damage to us. Can we bring it back? That shield is also reducing our stamina, which is problematic. However, it's looking like we're doing pretty well. We've down to half HP, but they do get a ton of armor. And holy moly, look at the damage. Smashing. BLOODTHORNE, Mr. Struggles. Super fun build. At the very end, in 13 seconds, we managed to deal 1000 DPS. So we managed to get our DPS all the way to 79, which is pretty darn good. The vast majority of damage coming from BLOODTHORNE with the spikes with Damned Wilds, which is kind of nice. As for heals, we managed to get it to 40 or 44 healing per second, which is also pretty good. Could be better, but still not too bad all the same. And honestly, with Mr. Struggles tagging up BLOODTHORNE, we may have actually wanted to add in another wub tinger. We may have actually needed to add in quite a few more because our stamina cost went to 3 per second because we increased the speed of it so much. Which is why the DPS number is so high on the BLOODTHORNE itself. When in reality, the damage is more naturally around here because we couldn't keep up with all its stamina. But anyways, this act surprised us, literally surprising us by starting with Amulet Wilds, allowing us to craft this whole build. Going for BLOODTHORNE, going for spike stacking, and just having a crazy, crazy fun time. We did survive with 3 lives left, so let's go and see just how much rank points are we going to get. Plus 11, we're ranking us back up to Masters. Awesome. But anyways, gonna leave it for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And hope to keep looking for the next one. See you next time.